Welcome to the shooting show. This week we follow Chris Dalton on the Kinnaird Estate during the Stag run.
Okay, the first part of this week's show, we'd actually had a report of a deer inside a forest creation scheme which was fenced. I think occasionally hill walkers or just for whatever reason gates are left open and the odd deer gets in now and again. Anyway, we'd reported a stag. So I'd been out with the client early that morning and Graeme had gone across to see, have a recce, see if he could find it and managed to shoot it. Which he was in a really difficult position. It's about as far away from any of the gates as you could get, and the plantation is a nightmare to cross. It's really a two-man job to recover it. So after breakfast we kind of headed out to fetch it back in with the ATV. He walked in front of the bike while I went to, well, sort of drove through, and we got the stag back and into the larder. There was still quite a bit of time left in the day, so we thought we'd head on to that side of the estate, just have a look around and see if we could find another young stag somewhere. It was actually a lovely sunny afternoon, and it's kind of right in the centre of the estate, and I can get to it quite easily when the wind was in that quarter, which was northerly, so I could go out of a hill gate through the deer fence from the recreation scheme and kind of walk up over the first ridgeline, and it drops us into like a lovely little basin and a valley. And often in an afternoon, because the sun is on that the lee of the hill below us, you can kind of get into small groups of deer, little pockets of deer, and fully expected, with it being the rut, that there would be sort of hinds holding there being held by a stag. But as it happened, there wasn't a blooming dicky bird, which is what stalking's all about. Never saw a thing. Beautiful, beautiful afternoon. I can't really initially understand it, but sort of with hindsight you look back on it, and I think it was such a nice afternoon that there are two hill tracks that intersect the valley that we were stalking in, and I probably think what must have happened is be some walkers out there which have maybe pushed deer off that face and popped them over to a different part of the estate. But still nice to be out. Beautiful, beautiful part of the estate, but no deer, unfortunately. Okay, this is the second package we filmed at Kinnaird. One of the issues I've had, particularly caused by lockdown really, because the early part of the season we really stayed away from the estate, you know, trying to do the right thing as everybody was, and there was no real major need for us to be up there. But what that resulted in was a group of deer getting into the habit of coming down from the hill and going down into the pasture fields and the barley fields and through the broadleaf woodland which had been replanted, and they kind of got a bit hefted in there, and these numbers were starting to build up, and they were coming down at night. So as we started stalking activities again, we needed to start concentrating on removing some of the deer from this area. Two particular reasons. The farmer wasn't very happy about the damage to his barley field. Primarily as well, we've got a big forest recreation scheme going on in this area. So we're looking at trying to get native regeneration, but also there's a big forest creation scheme. It's probably 350 hectare site, so it's a big planting job. So again, we're looking at reducing some of the deer density if we can in that area. The problem with these deer is they're coming down at night, so they tend to be moving down after dark and moving back up again early in the morning. So the tactic we decided to employ was to get out there early before first light. It was pretty obvious where most of them were coming in and out, and we kind of laid up beyond a gully to try and get into a position where we could maybe intercept one or two of the deer coming out. So that was the plan. We just had to wait and see if it actually worked. Okay, we're back out early. Up at Kinnaird, the stags are still roaring. It's a nice night actually. I want to get out onto the hill before it gets light. Try and get into position. It's a tricky way. It has been for the last few days up here. I can hear stags now just up here, so we need to be careful, but I need to try and get kind of round them into the wind. There's a bit of a gully we can use. We can kind of get set up and let the light come up, which will give me time to glass across and just see what we've got. There's certainly a big stag making his stuff up there. I'll go and have a look. To crawl up a stream valley. The wind's a bit tricky, it's blowing us down the valley, so it's at a lateral angle. I don't want to go any further forward because there's quite a few deer holding below us. At the moment they're about 350 yards. We're just hoping they start to push up the valley, which will bring them into range. Stags are still rutting quite hard, you can hear. We were surrounded by rutting stags basically. It was a slightly cooler night and it really had brought them on. So they were at the stage of the rut where the hind parcels have broken up. Stags have some of the older boys are a bit spent. Younger boys are nicking in, so you've got kind of deer running around all over the hill, which is quite good for us because when deer are running around, you can actually get away with a little bit more than you normally can with reds on the hill. So we were able to get into a position without kind of disturbing too much around us, and what I specifically wanted to catch were deer coming back up from the field. So I was particularly wanting deer coming from kind of down below us to our left. So we were able to watch a lot of activity going on around us as the light came up, and then we could see kind of deer drifting up. A larger stag came up in front of the group, a big 10-pointer, which to be honest I'd have rather left. I would have preferred to shoot one of the smaller stags that were kind of on the periphery, but he was about to cross our wind, and I think if that had have happened, he'd have taken the whole parcel of deer away from us. So unfortunately, wrong place, wrong time for our stag, and he got shot. But anyway, hopefully that will start to deter them from working down in that area, and maybe keep them a bit up on the hill. Sasha, what you doing? Get in here. In here. Sit down. Okay, I mean, good shot on the stag, good reaction, good. But they're so pumped up with testosterone that ordinarily I'd expect, you know, within reason to drop on the floor like that or just kick a little bit, 20-30 yard dash. But these things can really go quite a long way because they really are hyper, and they've had kind of a month or 3 weeks of just testosterone fueled, basically fighting and trying to have sex really, so they really are pumped. So it ran a bit of a distance and then kind of just basically toppled over and expired. Yeah, 10-point stag. Some age on him. Good body weight. He's sown his oats anyway. A bit of fighting going on. Real nick in here. And again, a relatively easy recovery because we can get the ATV from probably about a quarter of a mile away and literally bring it straight back into the deer and then take it back through into the larder.
Well, that's it for this week. Thanks for watching. Please like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter, and do ring that bell for more videos. And if you're not a member of Basque, you know the drill. Basque, looking after you, looking after your sport. It's time to join now. This has been The Shooting Show.